few weeks ago, a YouTuber by the name of Twiins posted a video with concept art of how they would redesign the titular Team RWBY from the animated web series RWBY. In their video, they challenged their viewers to try their hand at redesigning the girls as well. From this description and the title of this video, I'm sure you can see where this is going. Hello, my name is Timber. I'm an artist, and one of my favorite aspects of art is character design. So, when I saw Twiins' challenge, I couldn't help but throw my hat in the ring. While I posted these designs I made on Twitter already, I had way too many notes to reasonably jot down in a tweet. I'll be explaining my thought process and design choices as this video progresses, as well as a little bit of speed paint. But first, the guidelines. I'll start with Twiins' guidelines according to their video. 1. They were not going to be judging the art style, just the design. This is mainly the reason why I didn't do any sort of shading with my designs. 2. Team RWBY must be recognizable. 3. No major character changes. 4. Feel free to explain the designs. They specifically said not to send a 15-page Google document. I hope a YouTube video isn't the same as that. 5. February 10th is the deadline. I luckily made the deadline, but we'll see how this video fares. Twiins' guidelines were sweet and to the point, but I had some other ones that I wanted to implement for myself. Number 1, the first rule is the rule that I keep in mind with everything I design. And that is the rule of cool. Function is great and realism is good for cosplay reasons, but I'm an artist and I'm going to want to design something I think looks cool and is fun to draw. Is this just a long-winded excuse for the inevitable random belts and buckles I add to my designs? Maybe. Shut up. 2, I want to incorporate the main 4 colors in everyone's outfit. The color motifs are a huge draw for RWBY as a series for me, and I love the idea of the team showing off the colors of their teammates. So every design needs red, white, black, and yellow, or in some cases for yellow, gold, and for white, silver. 3, I will design these outfits as alternate or evolution outfits of their Volume 1 outfits, which is to say I'm not designing them with any climate or location in mind. An essential part of character design is to account for what the characters are going to be doing and where they're going to be. We're going in completely ignoring that. This is just for fun. Alright, with the guidelines out of the way, we can get started. Let's begin with our heroine, RWBY. During Twiins' video regarding the RWBY character designs, there were several things I disagreed with, but one thing I think we can both agree on is that RWBY's Volume 1 outfit is iconic and just perfectly RWBY. RWBY as a character is incredibly dedicated and skilled, but more than that, she's fun, friendly, and kind. For my design, I largely kept her silhouette the same and changed minor details. Starting with her hair, I gave her her most recent hair design, mostly because I absolutely adore it. It shows off more of her face, and who doesn't want to see more of RWBY's face? Her cape I have attached with a belt and a sigil of her emblem, keeping her neck and body connected with the black of her dress instead of cutting her head off with a large swath of red cape. The dress itself, I dug into some more Lolita-inspired aesthetics, starting off with some rose-themed patterns at the hem of her skirt. Though it is difficult to see as the dress is very dark, there are some ruffles and stitch lines for a bit of texture. I also added an overskirt for some depth to an otherwise very dark gray dress, as well as some detail to her waist corset. To keep her from being a solid, singular, black-colored blob, I added some dark red to help break up the dress, as well as a belt with gold trim that holds her ammunition. I really wanted to lean into the rose motif for RWBY, so she has quite a few artistic rose designs throughout her outfit. Accessory-wise, she has her belt as I mentioned before, as well as a backpack hidden under her cape similar to her Volume 4 design. I love the idea of RWBY's outfits being cosplay ready, so of course she needs some place to store her personal items. Cookies, I presume. For her sleeves, rather than poofy sleeves, I gave her arm guards with silver crosses that we haven't seen since her first design, as well as some red fingerless gloves. For her footwear, I gave her big clunky boots, something sturdy and easy to kick monsters on the head with. My favorite overall design choice was adding the roses to her tights, similar to the ones she had in her Volume 4 outfit. I tweaked some of the colors after the speed paint was finished. I actually did that with all the girls, so bear with me. Mostly I kept her overall figure dark and sparingly used her iconic red. Her red works best when it's used there as a highlight, especially when keeping in mind that anytime she's not facing directly forward, her cape has so much red. She's just a big red wave of roses. Overall, I don't really think I changed that much about Ruby's outfit. They really did nail her on the first try. She is easily the character I changed the least, but hey, it's hard to improve on perfection. On to our Snow Princess. Weiss is my favorite of the main four characters. I strongly believe that every ice-themed, bratty, royalty-adjacent character that over time melts their icy exterior due to the people they surround themselves with was made for me. Weiss is absolutely not an exception to that. To get started, I think a vital part of Weiss's design is her overall uniformity and her selective asymmetry, aka her off-center ponytail. For the rest of her outfit, she keeps the uniformity and neatness, save for her emblem later on. For the main body of her outfit, I changed the design of the skirt to differ from Ruby's, giving her something that feels a little bit more pointy and sharper, felt right for her. I gave her a sort of lacy, I'm not actually sure what to call it, a crop top, a mini jacket, whatever the top part of her outfit is. I made it intentionally black so her pale neck doesn't get lost in her hair. For sleeves, I gave her detached sleeves. Detached sleeves are one of my favorite aesthetic looks, and it gives sort of a feathery look to the bottom that matches the sort of soft peaks of the bottom of her dress. For accessories, I kept hers minimal. She has a fabric belt that holds 2 packs of dust for her sword, leading to a bow on the back. I like the gradient of the bow going from a dark gray to icy blue. Kind of gives me like a black ice kind of vibe. I incorporated a lot more black into her outfit compared to her other designs. I find the more neutral color makes the white stand out a little bit more and absolutely makes the red in her jewelry pop. I kept her gloves simple and elegant, giving her light blue palms. For shoes, I gave her thigh highs with dark socks featuring another repeat pattern of the soft feathery peaks I've highlighted throughout her design. I gave her thigh highs because thigh highs are my favorite, and spoiler alert, you're gonna see a lot of them. Weiss is the only one I gave thigh high boots to though. Now, according to Twiins' assignment, the characters were required to be recognizable, and I do think Weiss's design needs that light, icy blue to be recognizable. While I was sketching Weiss out, I did several color tests to change the icy blue to a soft yellow or removing the color completely. And though I thought those designs did look aesthetically better, I have to admit she looks a lot less Weiss without her iconic icy feel. Overall, I think Weiss's design is the weakest out of the 4 I've made. I'm not sure if it's because I have high expectations that I put on myself because she's my favorite of the main 4, or if it's because she's missing something. If I spent more time on this, I would probably try to add some sort of pattern to the middle blue part of her dress, something so it doesn't look so solid. Either way, though I think this is the weakest, I still do love this design. Weiss has always been such a delight to draw, and today was no exception. Next, Cat Girl! I had a lot of fun with Blake's design. Other than Yang, I feel like I had the most freedom with her design. Starting out, I of course got rid of her iconic head bow and let those cat ears be free, as well as giving her her volume 7 haircut. I honestly love that haircut both aesthetically and narratively, so of course I had to keep it. Moving on, I gave Blake a split up crop top shorts combo. Blake has a lot of thick lines in this design, from belts to ribbons to straps in her shirt. I like the idea of her zipping around and her figure being harder to follow due to the crisscrossing of all the bold lines. For her crop top, I kept it white like her volume 1 outfit but added see-through lace at the top. This helps break up the white of her clothing and her pale skin. I actually made sure none of the white from this outfit was directly connected to her skin, helping prevent the white from bleeding in and keeping those distinct lines in her outfit. Her shorts are quite simple, just black shorts, but added a fun belt system. I especially like the suspender-esque feel of the straps around her thighs. She also has 2 packs attached to those belts to help store items, as well as silver figures of her emblem on both of her thighs. One of my favorite parts of Blake's design was her bow. It's iconic, and though I love the symbolism and growth of letting her ears fly free, I hated the loss of the bow. So I moved the bow to the back of her belt, leaving the ribbons to look kind of like cattails flowing behind her. I also colored the bow purple, bleeding down to black, and opposite to her thigh-high socks, which bleed black to purple. I kept her shoes fairly simple, nothing much to say about those. I love the full-length black sleeve and the half sleeve on the opposite side, giving her some asymmetry. Speaking of her arms, it's time to talk about her armbands. I spent so much time trying to integrate red into Blake's outfit without it looking goofy as hell, but alas, I think the close to monotone color scheme just works best for Blake. I opted to give her 3 belts, 2 on her right arm for Ruby and Weiss, and 1 on her left arm for Yang. I'll admit, it's not an elegant solution, but Blake's new friends hardly came into her life elegantly anyway. I really like Blake's design here. I think it's a perfect combo of asymmetry, black and white, soft and hard lines. I wish I could do something more with this design because it is genuinely one of my favorite to draw. Alright, last but certainly not least, Yang. Yang was probably the most difficult to redesign next to RWBY. While RWBY was hard to build on, Yang I felt the need to start basically from scratch. I agree with Twin that Yang's colors being less focused on yellow and more focused on brown is, while not necessarily bad design, disappointing. I get it, I do. What is brown but dark orange and yellow? It's hard working with yellow. Yellow happens to be my favorite color, so trust me when I say I've struggled with this goofy color a lot. I know firsthand how hard it is to keep yellow from looking like gross highlighter colors or worse, dingy green. But let it be said, I was up for the challenge of getting rid of the brown and focusing on bringing out the yellow. Started with a yellow romper. A solid yellow romper was a bit too much yellow in your face, so I added the jacket. I was leaning more into the biker mechanic aesthetic Yang has. I broke up the romper itself with some lines and colored them differently, adding a patch of black on the thighs as well as 2 belts to interrupt the solid yellow. I pointedly made the main belt a darker yellow instead of black to avoid the bumblebee kind of feel. I think Yang looks great in a romper. It really feels her to me. For the jacket, I primarily made it black with some pale yellow highlights. Like Blake, I struggled to add Yang's teammates' colors to her outfit, so I cheated with her by adding patches representing her team on her right sleeve. Honestly, I don't feel bad about adding these patches for Yang. She definitely seems like the type that would do something like that to me. I love the idea of Yang showing off her patches to her team. Do you think Weiss would like being represented as a snow lady with a crown? Accessory-wise, I kept it pretty simple. She's got 2 belts around her waist, one of which is a holster, which also attaches to her thigh to hold a pack for her personal items and ammunition. She also has belts on her socks to keep them from sliding down, as well as aesthetically to break up the yellow from her skin. I like the black boots with the minor gold accent, pretty simple there. I've put several golden triangles around her body, one because Goldilocks needs gold, but also because up-facing triangles are often used to signal power-ups in a lot of video games. I thought that was a fun thing to add considering her semblance. My absolute favorite part of Yang's design is the bandana. I moved it to her arm to give her some balance with her jacket, but also to make it easier to access so she can use it as a hairband. In Twiins' video, they lamented the handkerchief often serving no purpose. I think giving Yang an impromptu hairband or even a hair tie both gives her a reason to use it and have it on her, but also gives her something cute, some cat ear almost shapes to the top of her head. Yang is the only person on their team to not have any hair change, so I thought it was a fun way to mix it up without cutting it. Besides, as someone who's also had long curly hair before, I gotta say, tying it up would probably be so helpful in a fight. Can't imagine how annoying it would be to fight with that much hair. Overall, considering how little I used from her previous designs, I really like how Yang turned out. She looks like a fun mechanic that would beat my ass. It's pretty Yang-like to me. And there you have it, my redesigns for Team RWBY. I like how these ones turned out. I think it's a good mix of the weird fantasy and tech aesthetic that RWBY has. Yang is my favorite, but I also really love Blake's design. Which one's your favorite? Big shout out to Twiins iink for posting their challenge in the first place. I've linked their YouTube and Twitter in the description below. I wouldn't have been motivated to do these designs without them. Twin has some interesting insight on character design, and though I think we have different priorities when it comes to design, I think their videos are worth a watch, so go over and tell them I said hi. Shout out to my beautiful and talented wife, SoftServeShiba, for not only editing this video, but also giving me excellent feedback with my designs as I was making them. She's an animator, and I highly recommend you check out her stuff on her channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've never made a video like this before, and I don't know if I'll do another. It's the new year and I wanted to try something new. This experience has been a lot more work than I expected. It's also a lot funner than I expected. Definitely took a lot more time than I was expecting. The script is 3,000 words long, and I'm recording it now. Anyway, whenever I'm drawing, I love to put on videos like this one, so if I'm lucky, someone out there who is drawing will put on this video like I would. Let me know what you thought of this video in the comments, or what your favorite color is. I don't know, I'm not your dad. Peace!